welcome back to Better Than Starting Manned. My name is Gord, and we are flush with success from our Crazy Town Munar mission. We have science, we have advancing technology, and today we are going to do a brand new crazy flight to the moon. I'm going to grab these parts, but I'm not going to implement them today. Actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave that 128 science sitting back because I might. No, I'll be grabbing this before anything else. Of course, I could also grab the illuminator and finally get the get that tech mission done, or that part test mission done. But nope, we are going to proceed with the original plan I had for today. Let's grab some more contracts. We need to go back to the moon again on escape trajectory out of Kerbal. It should be, and it's a transition to the moon should be considered an escape trajectory. Actually, it doesn't cost me that much if I fail, so I think I can live with the risk. Yeah, we'll grab the small gear test, and we're also going to crash something into the moon today. Boom. We got a lot of stuff on our list right now, don't we? Most of which we're not actually accomplishing, but... All right, so we need a redesign, a fairly serious redesign. Well, okay, no, not a serious redesign, a minor redesign of our current ship. Because, well, it did its job admirably. It is not configured for our new plan. So this is going to be called the Lunar Probe Mark II. And the big changes are going to be up here, because we're not doing goo. We're not doing temperature. So this thing capped out just over 10. We're also not landing. All right, and we only need 2 gravioles, not 3. I want to have enough space to grab to store one while transmission is underway. What we do need is a communications device. Now, how much do this weigh? 0.06 compared with batteries 0.3. How do I balance that? Now, this small gear doesn't weigh that much either. All right, well, let's do the important part first. Let's get a new comm system on here. Oh, hey, hold on. We don't need a heat shield either. We also don't need this decoupler. See, we've trimmed off mass like crazy. So, the part of this that is the actual lunar probe weighs 8.34 tons right now. So we're going to need at least another ring of batteries, I think will help. 10.75. Okay, so that's too many. Actually, hold on. Let's just slap this back on the bottom, and let's just double check the weight of the Mark I's lunar transition portion. Don't want to be operating under a false assumption here, because I can honestly not remember exactly how much this weighed, and I should have checked before doing this. 9.925 for what we accomplished. Wow, okay. So the Mark II has to be around 9.925, but it doesn't have to be able to get away from the moon. It just has to be able to get into orbit and then deorbit itself. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a very good orbit, all things considered. Okay, so we're at 94. So there's no other science we need to put on here. What we do need, though, is a comm. I'm going to put one of them on. We'll put it in right there. So there's a communications array. And now the thing is off balance by 0.06. So what weighs 0.06 that we could throw on to balance this off? Well, really, it's another comm is probably the best bet, isn't it? Because I also want to throw this small gear bay. Oh, geez, that's going to be a pain in the butt, isn't it? Oh, let's see. How much does it weigh? 0.2. All right. Well, if we slap this silly thing right here, let's just move the batteries down a bit. We're doing a silly... All right, so we need one of these. And we're going to have it not deployed. There we go. So that's 0.2 excess mass on that side. So our, let's just have a look. Our center of mass should be on this step. All right, we're very close to that target weight. And our center of mass will be slightly off kilter right now. So, let's see. Well, first of all, let's offset these by 1, because that will actually leave us room to pull this down nice and low so it doesn't interfere, so it doesn't make this thing top heavy. Not that that's going to be a huge issue with the upcoming mission, but it's good to make sure. And we'll also put our communication stuff down here too. So that's 0.6. Now let's center this a little higher. 0.2, so point, and this is 0.2, and this is 0.06. So we are off by 0.14. Well, we snag one of the graviolis. That's 0.1. So now we're off by exactly 0.4. Now we need, 0.04. This weighs 0.05. So actually, well, hold on. Yeah, now we have a new balance problem here. So let's put this lower. We'll put the gravioli right above it. Now we don't really, well, I guess we need to squeeze an SAS on here, don't we? How much does that weigh? Control, inline stabilizer, 0.2. Well, that's not going to affect the balance of the thing though. Okay, so put this just a little higher. Except that that's not helping with my balance problem anymore. Well, hold on. If we do this, that's 0.2 right there. And this thing weighs 0.1, 0.2, and, oh, hold on. Is that really equal? Yeah, that weighs 0.2, and the gravioli scanners weigh 0.1. So 2 graviolis is equal to one of those gear bays. Okay, so that solves that issue. Now we just have to balance our antenna at 1 there, which is 0.06, and 1 battery, which is 0.05. So we only have a 0.01 imbalance in the mass of this thing. I think we might be okay. Think we can get away with that? I think we might be able to get away with that. Let's just adjust these. This is up a little. Those up a little, because then we won't be interfering with our RCS. All right. So it weighs a tiny bit more than the oh, we can get rid of that. All right, so no parachutes. Minimal imbalance in the thing, just about as minimal as we can get. So let's just save this and let's just double check our previous one. This whole thing weighs 94.9. And our previous one weighed Munar probe Mark 1. 91.9, sorry, 95 here. And the Munar, yeah, so 95 right on the nose for the first one. And this one weighs 94.9, so it weighs just a little bit less than exactly the same, which means we might be able to squeeze just a bit more electrical power on this thing. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, no RCS on this, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge to deorbit, but that's okay. Just means we got to be careful. Let's see. Well, $95.5. That's just a bit more than the previous one weighed. I think I could get away with that. I think I can get away with that. All right. So this is going to be our Munar gravioli scanning rig. We need action groups set up. They're going to be redone completely because I don't want... Oh, yeah. All right. Custom 1 will be gravioli 1. Custom 2 will be gravioli 2. I think I got that right. Let's just try that one more time. Custom 1. Gravity 1. Custom 2. Gravity 2. I think I got that right. Hold on, let's just check. So that says it's this one up here. Okay, and that one. Yeah, there we are. So that one's logging from the top one, and that one's logging from the bottom one. Bingo! Okay. I think we're good to go. Let me just check staging. Engine at the top is set. Engines in the middle are set. Engines in the bottom are set. Alright. I can't see any reason why we can't fly this thing. So this thing has to be tested on a... That's the silly part right there. But, you know, why should we not take along a random piece of hardware to test on our way to the moon? Offset the cost of the ship, which we are starting to be in a bit better shape, and then we can transmit some science from the moon, establish an orbit around the moon, and crash into the moon today. And if all goes according to plan, I'll be able to do this in, well, I have no idea if it's going to work as one episode or if it's going to be two at this point. So I have been told I am too conservative. So SAS on, here we go. We're going to try and keep this thing stable. I'm not touching the keyboard today because if all is according to plan, we finally have the ability to control this ship without me constantly hovering over the keyboard. And that is looking like it is the case. Brilliant. Finally. Okay. Booster stage ending, and we're losing speed really fast, but I think we're going to bottom out. Yeah, it's unavoidable. The bottoming out here is just not avoidable. There we go. We are accelerating once again. Good. Okay. Resource panel out. Oh yeah, I had been thinking about putting a different engine on the Munar transition stage. Too late for that. We are heading to orbit. That's our only goal at the moment, is to orbit. Alright, we're tipping just a little bit. I think that's just a artifact of the way the orbit system works, but we're going to definitely put a tiny bit of right-handed push in there in preparation for a gravity turn. Okay. So far so good. We're coming up on 10,000. Engines are going strong. Alright, let's get to 45. Over we go. Tip it, tip it. Oh, there's part of the problem. No wonder it looked weird. I'm not looking at it from the right angle. Okay. Keep going. Keep going. And we're going to lock on a new point here in just a second. We're about to lose our engines. So at this stage we're going to say RCS on, just in time. There we go. Lock it on. Perfect. Looking good. Full tanks, 30 kilometer apoapsis and rising. This is a lot more relaxing, I tell you. Not having to worry about the now having the SAS back. So nice. Getting ready to kill the engines in a few moments here. In fact, we're going to do a bit more gravity turning in the meantime. No sense in wasting energy. The more we can do now, it's actually pretty effective. 970. Kill it. Okay. We'll start our the rest of our orbital burn here in just a minute. It'll be locked right on here so that we push our apoapsis up a bit more. but we're going to wait until we're a little bit higher in the atmosphere to do this push. Maybe about 65 we'll fire the engines to full, or 50 seconds to apoapsis, sorry. Pretty good, pretty good. Not a perfect orbit, we're a little bit off kilter here. So we'll just do it a little off kilter there. Alright, and 50 seconds in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fire the engines. And we're raising that apoapsis ever so slightly, but not enough to be a concern. Alright, there we are. And let's just bring her back to the flat orbit. Hopefully I managed to flatten that orbit a little bit for that little maneuver I did. Alright, 75, and killing it again because we don't want to waste energy pushing our apoapsis up because our periaps is not high enough yet. Okay, let's see if I do the burn right here. I need a periaps of 71. That'll do. And that will do. Okay, so right there is 13-second burn in 45 seconds. So let's do that. Do it with maneuver nodes. Makes it way easier. Because it tells me I only need 13 seconds of burn time to actually pull this maneuver off. Which is good. Because I can do it really close to the periapsis, or the apoapsis, instead of way far out. So we'll burn at T-8. Three, 9, 8. Full throttle. Here we go. And that is right on the nose where I want it to be. Okay, getting ready to cut the engines because we are raising that periaps nice and fast. Perfect. Now that is a perfectly circular orbit. As much as I would like to save this lower stage, it'll just wind up cluttering everything. So let's get rid of it and go H little over to the other one. Should have turned it retrograde first, dang it. Shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Well, hopefully it's got enough rotation on it. Ah, crud. There's nothing left, is there? Well, dang it. Messed that up pretty badly. Well, let's see. Kill that maneuver node. We're trying to get to the moon. We'll go back and have a look at that other piece here in a minute, but I think we're going to be stuck with it. Completely forgot to turn it to the other way around. Well, you know what? As far as mistakes go, that's not a bad one. Alright, I'm just going to have to deal with it. It's going to come in a little bit cockeyed, but I think I'll be able to get some more science out of that regardless. Might be able to clean it up a bit at the moon, but I really don't want to waste the fuel on the process of trying to get it oriented properly. Now, based on the events of the last orbit, we now know that it's about a 2.5 minute burn, not a 4-minute burn or an 8-minute burn. So we just have to wait until we are at T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds or so to fire this burn, and it will be much more efficient than our last attempt was. 1 minute 30 should do. Full throttle to the engines. Perfect. Right where we want it to be. There we are. Keep it on that nose marker. There we are. Perfect. Okay. So it's getting this thing into an actual proper equatorial orbit around the moon is actually a bit of a pain. I think it's partly because my orbit is slightly cockeyed around... yeah, it's a little cockeyed around Kerbal, so it's probably part of the problem. Realistically, I should have zeroed out my inclination relative to the moon before doing this, but we're not going to worry about that today. These early missions are not intended to be perfection or anything remotely along that line, so... Technically, that's on a Kerbal escape trajectory, so it might actually count. We'll see. We'll see if it counts if it's a slingshot trajectory around the moon. Because if it does, that might actually get me that touch of science, or that touch of money if I do the test right now. Small gear, yeah, okay. 1 minute and 19 seconds to go. It's coming along, much better this time. Tiny little adjustment. There we go. Come on, you silly thing. Just hold it steady. For gosh sakes, just hold it steady on our mark. Fighting with the SAS today, apparently. Oh, at least it's keeping me from drifting any further off kilter than it would have otherwise. Okay. $170. Getting close. Just keep it right on that node marker. 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, wow, that's not even remotely close, is it? Wonder what went wrong there. Just timing? Must be just timing. 7. That's weird. I must just be that much off of my timing again. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Did that count? No, it does not. Is it an escape trajectory? Yes, it is technically an escape. But I'm not on that actual trajectory right now, so let's get rid of that marker. What periaps am I going to get? 58, good enough. Okay, we'll take it. It's not great. I'm a little shorter on fuel than I would have liked to be. But some days you just got to accept that things are not going to work out the way you'd hoped. Quick saving. I think this thing might be just a tiny bit short on power to accomplish exactly what I'm trying to accomplish. But we'll find out soon enough. Let's just hope we don't have too much excess delta V to get rid of for this Munar burn. And we'll see. That burn actually has to be right as close to... Well, yeah, that's not going to help me at all, is it? There we go. Okay, there we are. 64.13. That's pretty good. That will probably do the job. In fact, I could probably make that just a little better and do it for a little bit less juice. 65.48, even better. But we're going to need to make sure, quick save before we do it, because if we're going to not be impact, I don't want to be stuck in orbit, is the short of it. Okay. Well, actually, I do have RCS, though. And RCS should be adequate, especially if I turn off the SAS system and the RCS system for the flight. Quick save. let's accelerate to the crossover. So for those of you who might think that there was a bit of a discontinuity, I wound up having to do this a second time. This is my second attempt. The first attempt wound up, I don't know what happened. I messed the burn up. Oh crap. That was not my intent. Okay, we got away with it. We got away with it. No rounding errors, or at least not one that's sufficient to be a concern. Where exactly were we supposed to be? I don't remember. Whoops. But let's put that back to the periapsis. Let's zero out this radial mess that I just did. Alright, so 40-second burn. Let's actually quit the burn. Nothing else I can do about it though. Consider me on a... Oh, I'm on an escape trajectory, but I'm not... Oh, I see. Okay, so... No, there's nothing I can do about that. Alright. The gear bay test is going to fail. That's too bad. So sad. Nothing I can do about it. Okay, doing a quick spin. Get my markers up here. Okay. Quick save again with basically a backup quick save so that if I need to go back and redo my approach to the moon, because I got screwed up completely by this little glitch, so be it. Okay, we're coming in. I don't think we're going to be quite at the point where we could actually get science, but we're going to be at T-minus 20 seconds here, where we're going to do our burn, and we're not low enough to actually get science yet, which is a problem as well. Okay, cross your fingers that we have enough fuel for this, guys. Oh god, no. No, crap. That's what that quick save was for, right there. Alright, Munar, not quite. Are we in orbit? Yes, we are in orbit, but it's not low enough to pull this off. Are we going to make it? I don't think we are. Or if we are, it's going to be really close. We're just going to bring that apoapse down as far as we can. Hope for the best. And whimper. Okay, actually we're going to be okay. We're bringing that periapse down a bit more here, now that this is actually our apoapsis. 50, 49, 48, 47. There we are. Okay. We're okay. We did it. We did it. We're in orbit. Now let's get some science. We just need to drop low enough to actually get the science. And then when we're at our new periapsis, we should be able to... There we are. All right, our first bit of science. We have a gravity scan of the Midlands. Transmit that data, guys. That was caused entirely by this gear bay, by the way. So the balance of this ship is not ideal. Okay. We got enough for at least a couple more of these. Let's see what else we're going to go over here today. We're coming up on that periapse, which means we're going to be getting ready for a retro burn here in a minute. In fact, SAS off, rotator around 180 degrees. In fact, I don't actually technically need the SAS except while I'm burning, which would save me a whole lot of battery power. Okay, let's bring that periapse, that apoapse down a bit more. It needs to be below 60, I believe. There we are. Okay, SAS off. Let's try and get some more science. Boom, gravity scan. Far side crater on its way. Excellent. Science, buddy, you're my friend. That's 2 sets of science. Now hopefully we're going to go over the midland craters as well. That would be very nice. Gravity scan. Northwest crater. On its way. Send her home. Send all the science to Kerbal, which is currently hiding behind the moon. Boy, it's sure a good thing it doesn't enforce line of sight for transmission yet. That would be kind of neat, because right now we're technically in a blackout transmission zone with respect to Kerbal. And midland craters on their way home. So we're going to be actually, I think, pushing up into enough science to get a next tier technology, which is pretty exciting. I don't even remember what's in the next tier off the top of my head, but we'll have a look before we wrap the episode today. Let's see what we got. Going around and around and around we go. Quick, quick, quick as a bunny now. Alright, there goes the far side crater again. Are we going to actually hit anything new, or are we going to just not have the luck because our orbit is not ideal to hit all the things? It might not be, but we'll try for a little longer. We'll go screaming around the moon. I guess the other thing I could do would be to try and adjust my orbit a little. There's Kerbal again. Well, let's see. Alright, let's slow her down. Let's have a look at this and let's see where is some science that we are missing. Are we going to come far enough south to get the canyons here on the next pass? Maybe. Let's give it till over here and then we'll decide what we're going to do. That did. It did. The twin craters transmitting. Let's see. Our orientation, we're going to get far side crater again. We're going to skim that one. So we're definitely, if we're going to accomplish anything more with this mission, we need to normalize our orbit ever so slightly. And I don't think we quite have the fuel to do what I need to do here. Well, let's see. It's this crater right here would be an ideal target right now. So if I was to do it right here, how much fuel would it actually take to rejigger our orbit to there? And not... It takes me more fuel to not increase my apoaps crazy amount. 220, a 31-second burn. There's no way. No way on Earth we're going to accomplish this. Okay, well that's okay. Well, let's see. There is the question of precession around the moon and whether or not this orbit will actually... whether or not I have enough battery power for my orbit to adjust just a bit further. You can give it a couple more orbits because I got 1400 battery power left and it doesn't have to have any juice left for a crash. But we did successfully achieve orbit around the moon. So that will mostly make up for the botched experiment with the small gear. Unfortunately, that is not going to be a costly mess up there. Although, if it's anything like the Illuminator, I might still be able to get it via a different method. Okay. Nah, precession is not going to get me to where I need to get, is it? The rotation of the moon relative to my orbit is not quite going to get there. I don't think that's a different biome. Let's do it until about 400 battery power, and then we'll see where we're at. Well, that's coming up pretty fast, actually. Probably on our next ApoApps, we will establish our descent trajectory. Make efficient use of our small amount of remaining fuel. And we are indeed not going to receive any more science for this. That's okay. We got, I think, 4 or 5 experiments from this. Can't argue with that. Retro point. SAS on. Right to our ApoApps. Full throttle to the engines. There we are. That's all we need. Because that, I think we're going to crash in a crater we don't have science for yet. Are we? No, wait, is that the far side crater? No, wait, hold on. Are we hitting something new? I can't tell. I think we aren't. But let's go in here and let's watch us slowly approach the surface. We're coming out over... What's our context right now? We are over the Gravioli's detectors. Tell me what we're over right now. Northwest crater. I'm pretty sure we got this one. Log gravity data. Yeah, we got this one. Okay. Time to watch some things crash into the planet. You know what? Let's have some fun. Prograde. We're not hitting it nearly hard enough, are we? Faster, faster, faster. Hit it harder. Oh, this is going to be a big boom. Nice. Oh, that was a good one. Ah, excellent. Catastrophic failure. Just what I wanted to see. You really took us seriously there, didn't you? Sweet. Well, that's was part of the plan. Ideally speaking, my next flight to the moon is going to be a seismic lander. So, let's trash this and let's head back to Kerbal and see how we did with today's mission. Oh, I think we're going to have done okay. 253 science. Fingers crossed. We needed this one. Oh, it's not going to be enough for a tier 4. We're going to need to land on the moon for that. But you know what? That's okay. Because we can build a much more efficient ship for the next flight. And possibly manage to accomplish a contract out of it. Now the question is, did we actually get the gear, the small gear? Let's see. I did not technically fail the test. So, the question is, do I have access to that experimental part under normal circumstances here? I bet you I do not. Doesn't look like it. And it's probably in a tech that I don't have yet. So that's okay. It's kind of like the Illuminator. It's something that I can hold in reserve and test when I finally have the part. Because, hey, you know what? We've got the Illuminator now. Launchscape system in flight over Kerbal. Medium payload. I might do a medium payload off camera, although we're at 167,000. Okay. So we've got, yeah, we didn't fail that. We have 99 days to actually succeed at this thing, kind of like the Illuminator right now. Suborbital trajectory. Man, I haven't done a suborbital trajectory in a long time, have I? But if I put it on, I have an idea how to accomplish that. I'm going to do that in the next episode, though. But I have a solution for that little problem. So all that leaves is, well, There's our aerodynamics. Ah, there we are. Advanced landing. There it is, small gear bay. So, we haven't totally failed. It just might be a while before we actually get to do that experiment. But that will do for now. Hope you enjoyed. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.